Hi everyone, LiberAnarchy here, responding to White Wolf Heathen. He made a video about faith and different kinds of faith and different degrees of faith. And he made a brief statement about Satanism and hospitality and charity. And he suggests that Satanists would not necessarily be oriented toward hospitality because we are individualistic. And he then invited comments, which of course I appreciate, and I am going to comment. Now, for those who are curious, I consider myself a symbolic Satanist, meaning I do not consider Satan an actual entity, but rather Satan to me is a symbol. It is a symbol of individuality and a symbol of seeking knowledge and seeking power for oneself rather than being dependent upon a dictator, a higher up. Someone who would claim to be an authority figure, especially for the entire world. And Satan is about living for the fruits of the earth, living in the flesh, being honest with oneself, as opposed to self-denial, self-deceit, things like that. Okay. Hypocrisy, etc., and so forth. Okay, so instead of just complaining about the Abrahamic religions, I will get on with my video. Okay, and this is not an inverted cross, this is an Icelandic hammer. Long story, but here we go. In general, there is no overarching rule for hospitality. If I were to summarize in a very general way the attitude toward hospitality, although other Satanists will think differently from me, I'm sure, because that's kind of the nature of the beast. If hospitality makes you happy, do it. If charity makes you happy, do it. If it doesn't, don't do it. Now, from there, I pulled up the 11 rules of the earth, 9 satanic sins, and 9 satanic statements, and I will try to very quickly pull out ones that are pertinent to hospitality to illustrate my point, because there are some that are. Okay. First, let's get through the sins. I mean, there are a lot of things here. There aren't rocket science. Pretentiousness is obviously going to be pretty rude. Self-deceit is stupid. Of course, that isn't pertinent to hospitality, is it? Let's see. Counterproductive pride. If you don't know your own limitations, if you can't admit mistakes, you might come out a complete braggart and do nothing but talk about yourself and irritate the hell out of your guests or your host, as the case may be. Lack of aesthetics. Try bathing before you go visit somebody, right? Let's see. And this is okay. The 9 satanic statements. Let's see. Number 4, Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates. Well, yeah, Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it. Why waste your time, money, efforts, kindness, empathy on people who aren't going to appreciate you? Okay. Satan represents... Here's number 6. Satan represents responsibility to the responsible instead of concern for psychic vampires. If somebody keeps shooting themselves in the foot and then asking for help, and then shooting themselves in the foot and asking for help, there's a pattern there. They're not trying to actually get help. They're not actually learning any sort of responsibility. They're just leeching off you. So if you're going to be hospitable, why be hospitable to somebody like that? If you're going to be charitable, why be charitable to a leech? After a while, patterns developed, okay? I'm sounding mean, aren't I don't mean to sound mean. It's just that it bugs me when somebody asks for help when clearly they don't want the help, they just want the attention. But anyway, moving right along. Yeah. Let's see. Alright. Okay, I think that's all the pertinent ones for the satanic statements. Okay, the 11 rules of the earth. Do not, and again, a lot of these are just being courteous to people. Number 1, do not give advice unless you are asked. Well, yeah, don't be a nag. Fair enough. Number 2, do not tell your problems to others unless you are sure they want to hear them. Yeah, don't be a drama whore. Okay. 3, when in another's lair, show him respect, or else do not go there. I think that directly relates to hospitality. You know, if you're going to be a guest, I mean, if it's a willing thing, why not show your host respect? I mean, it's a sensible thing to do. It's not rocket science. 4. If a guest in your lair annoys you, treat him with cruelty and without mercy. Well, there's also the option of asking him to leave, but regardless, if somebody just keeps egging you on and acting like a jerk, well, really, I mean, why not? Let's see. 5. Do not make sexual advances unless you are given the mating signals. Yeah, common sense. 6. Do not take that which does not belong to you unless it is a burden to the other person and he cries out to be relieved. Yeah, don't be a thief. Yeah, I think that falls under hospitality. 7. Acknowledge the power of magic. That doesn't really apply. 8. Do not complain about anything to which you need not subject yourself. Again, it's a matter of not being a drama whore. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've run into people who, again, proverbially shoot themselves in the foot and then do nothing but complain about it. So, yeah, I don't see why anyone would give such a person hospitality or charity. If they just keep subjecting themselves to their own misery. I mean, it's not like an outside event befell them and they're so unfortunate or something. See, 9. Do not harm little children. Now, again, I think this goes back to charity. Again, not rocket science, but this goes to charity. I can see where you'd have a Satanist who has a soft spot for children and would give time or money to, say, ending sexual abuse or feeding starving children in the third world or something of that nature. 10. Do not kill non-human animals unless you are attacked or for your food. Yeah, again, yeah, common sense, but I can see where a Satanist would say foster animals because they have a soft spot for animals or something like that. Again, it goes back to if you're happy giving charity and kindness and hospitality, do it. If not, well, don't. But you know what? Most of us human beings are wired to want to help. Let's see, 11. When walking in open territory, bother no one. If someone bothers you, ask him to stop. If he does not stop, destroy him. And of course, this is the one that people get hung up on. But you know, you notice it doesn't say get revenge for every little petty perceived spite. I mean, if every little thing bothers you, you know you got problems. Just saying. Pick your battles. That's just my take on it. Of course, if you don't want to pick your battles, that's up to you. It's your life, your consequences. Have fun. But I gotta say, yeah, that's another common sense one. So that's my take on Satanism and hospitality and charity, because you also mentioned charity. So yes, the motivation is selfish. I would rather live in a world where people are helpful, and so I do help where I can and when I can. And then again, um, you know, if you don't want to help, I'm not going to try to make you feel obliged. And frankly, I think altruism, which is different from just being kind, I think altruism is stupid. And there's no nice way of saying it. I really advise taking care of yourself before taking care of others. And if it makes you happy to take care of others, go ahead. If not, then don't. I'm repeating myself now. I am the Department of Redundancy Department. And on that note, know thyself.